Welcome to the 11th episode of Custom Card Weekly, on the 11th day of the 11th month. So it makes sense that last week I asked you all to design a custom card with the number 11 incorporated somehow into it. Let's see what you come up with. First card here is by Neko. Since the new Loa-themed Hearthstone expansion is coming, why not make the best boy Buon Samdi, Loa of Death, Shadowcraft Legendary, 11 play point 45. Whenever an allied zombie is destroyed, subtract 1 from the cost of this card. Transform all followers in play into zombies and give all allied zombies rush until the end of your turn. Whenever an enemy's follower is destroyed during your turn, summon a zombie. While I agree with you that Buon Samdi is indeed best boy, from the Battle for Azeroth expansion and the new Hearthstone expansion as well. But if I remember correctly, Buon Samdi hates the undead. Now this is just thematically all wrong. Meme correction. Do it again. Here's a card by Jeremy Yaya that I freaking love. Diabolic Dragon, 7.66 Dragoncraft Legendary follower. Accelerate 1. Choose, transform a Dragoncraft card in your hand into either a Blazing Breath, a Serpent Wrath, or a Conflagration. Fanfare, if at least 11 Dragoncraft cards in your hand were transformed this match, randomly transform each card in your opponent's hand and deck into either a Fairy, a Knight, a Snowman, a Skeleton, a Forest Bat, or a Serpent. This condition is extremely difficult to proc because there's not a whole lot of great transform effects in Dragoncraft, unless, you know, we expand on that theme here. But I love the fact that there's actual synergy with this transform thing that Dragoncraft seems to have going on, but hasn't really played around with all that much, you know, with cards like Stormborn Wings, and, what's that guy's name? The 2 cost that gives you a Blazing Breath. So this sort of adds into that package and explores that theme a little bit more, with a really crazy condition if you get it 11 times, which probably won't happen very often, but it's a great meme if you want to build an entire deck around this and then transform everything in your opponent's deck to a freaking serpent. There's your serpent synergy card for today, in a way. Also, this card mentions the card Serpent Wrath, which I haven't heard of in a long time, so that's pretty fun. I think either a Blazing Breath, a Serpent Wrath, or a Conflagration. It's pretty sick because you can actually decide which one you want for the specific situation. So this is actually one of the better transform cards already in general, other than, you know, Stormborn Wings, I guess. It's cool. I just love the idea of, you know, building an entire meme deck around this underused mechanic that Dragon has. Jeremy also designed a Forestcraft card that changes your maximum hand size to 11 cards with the caption, "Imagine what Forestcraft can do with 11 cards in hand." I think at that point the limit is board space, right? The evolve effect is pretty cool. You draw cards until you fill your entire hand, and then your opponent draws cards as well, 11 minus the number of cards you drew. So really incorporating the whole 11 theme into it while having a really interesting effect. I dig it! Yeah, you got the spirit of the theme. It is the 11th of the 11th after all. And I'm recording this at 11 AM, just to let you know. I'm also getting into character here. There's a couple cards by Custom Card Alice. Calamity Queen, 11 play point 77 for Portalcraft. Fanfare deals 7 damage to all other followers and 7 damage to the enemy leader. Changes the cost of this follower to 10 if your leader receives 7 or more damage last turn. It's essentially either entirely, literally unplayable, or absolutely incredible in, you know, controlling styles of deck. I wish that the control Portalcraft was actually more of a thing, but it seems like this would never be good with the current state of the game. Unfortunately, things just move way too fast, right? Maybe if this was in, like, old school Control Blood back in the day, that deck would have been pushed way over the top. We also got Consumed Beast Saphira, which I think is my favorite of the two. 9.511 Rush. Can attack 3 times, can't attack the enemy leader. If this follower is destroyed during your turn, deal X damage to the enemy leader, X equals the remaining defense of this follower. I think that's really cool because you have to, like, sequence your trades really interestingly when you play with this follower. You play it when you're behind on board, I suppose, and have it clean up the board a little bit and also do a bit of burn damage at the same time. Again, for a more controlling Portalcraft deck, I'd imagine, which isn't supremely a thing right now. Portalcraft tends to, you know, finish you off with Radiance way before then, or the Destruction in Black lately. I was gonna say Puppets, and I'm like, what am I, living 3 months ago? No. Destruction in Black lately. But if it becomes a thing, and I hope it does one day, control decks might become a thing again. Would be great if we had a balanced meta with different archetypes. Then this would be a really cool follower to have. Now, very clever. Very clever. Hugo, Rio. You having some bad luck lately, bro? Okay, we've all been there. Agent Gaming here with a properly sized, this time, card that he's designed here based off of Octopath Traveler. Hanit Swarki Huntress, 9play.77. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Fanfare, give a random enemy follower -1 attack 11 times. Will not target followers with 0 attack. If there are no targets, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader for the remaining amount of times. That's really sick. It ties in with the unkilling thing, but it still can do some damage. The big body, late game card that doesn't just straight up win the game, which I'm thankful for. I wish more cards were like that, even though in the current environment they'd pretty much be unplayable. Yeah, this is my favorite of the ones that he designed, but he designed a whole suite of them for all the Octopath Traveler cards, so I encourage you to check them out. If only this theme was CCW 8, and then it would really hammer home the theme, hey? But you know, you take your chances where you can get them. I still haven't played my Octopath Traveler. Like, I got a Switch for my birthday, and I still haven't opened it because I've been so busy. I feel so bad, but there you go. I like this card a lot. This is just the KFC 1111 bucket. Does it actually have anything to do with 11? I'm glad that the different types of chicken do something. That's kind of cool. I do get energized in certain ways from different types of chicken, I suppose. Have a different feel to them. KFC bucket. I made this account to send you shitty custom cards. Well, that's swell. I appreciate that. I hope you're not a one and doneer. If you made this account just to send me terrible custom cards, I want to see you coming back at it week after week, okay? Don't half-ass this. Jesus. The Hamza meme lives on. That is a swole duck. Summon a Hamza for every allied Hamza that has been destroyed this match, and give them +11, +9. Whenever an allied Hamza comes into play, if this card costs 3 play points, change its cost to 10. So you'd want to play 3 Hamzas before playing the Awakened Hamza, I suppose. God damn. What a absolute unit. 11, 11, 11. That's right, he transcends above our base 10 system. Here's one from Crossel based off of Dragalia Lost. Alain Captain Craven, 8play.411 with Ward, accelerate 2, return an allied Swordcraft follower to your hand, give it +0, +1. Return an allied Swordcraft follower to your hand! The Swordcraft takeover of Forestcraft mechanics is complete. What the heck? I mean, I understand that he's like running away. I guess it's a Dragalia Lost thing. I don't really understand because I don't play the game, but the art is really nice in this game, hey? There's also this one, Zethia Divine Auspex. For Havencraft, essentially it's a really big butt that restores defense to all your stuff, and then debuffs itself, essentially. I don't know if Havencraft really needs another big butt that heals itself, given that it already has, you know, De La Phil and all the healing in the world. I remember back when Dragoncraft had more healing than Haven, everyone's memeing about how Haven doesn't have any healing. Well, look what you've done now. Pretty neat idea from Drenzen here, expanding the canon of the Omen of the 10 into an 11th Omen. You have Adonna, the Forgotten Angel. Accelerate 10, banish all followers and amulets, summon the 5 female omens for you and the 5 male omens for your opponent. Put the 11th Omen into your hand. And then the 11th Omen is give your leader the following effect at the end of your opponent's turn. Summon a random apostle or disciple of a random omen you control. Not stackable and lasts for the entire rest of the match. Last words, put Adonna the Forgotten into your hand and change its cost to 10. So you're constantly generating value from this thing. And it's a 6.88, which is pretty sick. So this whole thing is a pretty wild effect, sort of resetting the board and then summoning a bunch of dudes on both sides. It's kinda rough because I think the male omens on average are higher statted than the female omens are. They're gonna be taking a lot of damage after you play a Forgotten Angel, because they get Ryo, Marwyn, Izudia, right? Yeah, those guys are huge compared to, you know, a base Octress and a base Valneric and everything. The 11th woman then summons also her servants, or she can anyway. Apostle of 11, 3.22. At the end of your turn, deal X damage to the opponent's leader. X equals the number of omens, apostles, and disciples on board. Again, playing around with the theme and actually weaving it into the mechanics is pretty cool. Something that we don't really see a lot in Shadowverse, hey? Evolve, take control of all omens. Yeah, that might be a rough one. Defend it. This seems like a really grindy card that you'll probably die before any of this comes off, but kind of crazy effect. Disciple of 11. At the end of your turn, summon a random omen and destroy this follower. That's a hell of a way to get people to play Ryo, I guess. And then if the 11th Omen dies, you get this one as a 10 play point card, which activates the fanfares and last words of all 10 Omens, excluding the 11th Omen. So you just start going off with Ryo and Marwyn and Valneric and everything. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even know what to evaluate this card on, because the effect just seems so out there, but I really like the fact that you're expanding on the idea of the theme of the expansion and actually weaving it into the mechanics itself. That's something that I think would actually kind of strengthen thematic identity, I guess, for each expansion if they weaved it into the mechanics a little more, so that's kind of cool. Cyros here with one long boy. That is a very long boy. In fact, the picture even cut itself off. It just didn't want to load anymore after a certain point. I don't know if I want to read all of this on camera. You're free to pause the video and read this yourself and come to your own conclusion. How about that? Some viewer interaction. John, neither of these cards have 11 in them. I mean, I guess it's kind of on theme in a way, but just barely. Here's one by Matt Test. Subject 11 Exceed, Portalcraft Legendary. I really like the Accelerate X mechanic this card has. Summon a Subject 11 Exceed. Its attack and defense are equal to the amount of play points used in the Accelerate effect. X equals your current amount of play points. And are not activated when summoned this way. So it's cool that you can put in a differing amount of play points depending on what body you want, and you have to sequence your turn correctly to get the optimal result. Fanfare, the Swallower's attack and defense are set to 11 and it gains the following effects. Can't be targeted with special effects. Whenever the Swallower attacks the enemy leader, you win the match. So it's a big body win condition. Very Timmy card for sure. So I think the way this works is that you have to have 2 in your hand and then you play one on turn 10, and you play the other one on turn 11 with your 11 play points and then hit them in the face on turn 12, which seems really slow and unrealistic, but the effect is really cool. Evolve, put a Subject 11 Exceed into your deck so you can get another one, get another chance at it. Just playing this as a 4 play point 4/4 that gives you a play point orb or whatever is already really good. The win condition at the end seems like it's one of the unreachable scenarios of this card, where I feel like you'd play this card mostly just for the Accelerate effect, and then the win condition effect is something that you try and style on your opponent with if you have the opportunity. Ooh, another Forte card by Akatsui. Forte Awakened Dragoon. Fanfare, if you have 10 playpoint orbs for the rest of the match, your max playpoint orb count becomes 11. Fanfare, gain an empty playpoint orb, evolve, refresh your playpoint orbs. The stat line is really low for this effect though, hey? But the evolve, refresh your playpoint orbs thing really ends up becoming a huge factor. Like, if you just play this at 8 playpoints, you refresh it and you evolve it, you have another 9 playpoints to play with. That's kind of nutty actually. So this card seems bonkers. Although a little bit slower than what I'm used to from my Forte cards. As long as I've known her, Forte has been a hit face kind of gal. Like a sniper rifle. I don't know if you guys have seen that copy paste. That's like a vintage Shadowverse meme. I gotta look it up now. I found it. This is some vintage Shadowverse meme, man. So I wasn't around when the Darkness Evolved expansion was released, but one card that was in this set was Forte. When I saw Forte for the first time as one of the leaders for Dragoncraft, I fell madly in love and picked up Dragoncraft as the second main craft next to Sword. As I was about to craft the beautiful Dark Dragoon, I looked at the card in question and the comparison I made became crystal clear to me. Forte is a sniper rifle. Shadowverse took my favorite weapon and gave it a sexy physical appearance. The reason I made the comparison to begin with was due to how I personally play Forte. Always look for a clear shot at the face when playing, so no enemy wards on the field. Before I pull the trigger for critical damage, the high reward of landing a Forte hit on face always exhilarates me. God bless you, Forte. God bless you. That's a vintage meme. 1 year ago. God damn. LK. LK, am I a joke to you? 7-11. Well, I should have seen this coming, really. Kind of my own fault. Leaf burn, hey? Somebody is salty at Spell Boost, I can pretty much tell. Giving a Force Craft a 0 playpoint card is scary though. I don't know if I agree with that. You're trading one evil for another. And I think that'll be it for this week's episode of Custom Card Weekly. Thank you guys so much for submitting. My only regret is that I couldn't make this video 11 minutes long, but I guess if I did, I'd have to include less cards, and that's no good, is it? I encourage you all to take a look at the other submissions, hashtag CCW11 on Twitter, and see what everybody else has submitted. But now we're at the end of this video, and that means we have to talk about the next theme for next week, theme for next week's Custom Card Weekly, and the theme for next week's Custom Card Weekly. It's gonna be dead memes. That's right. I don't know. I'm out of ideas. Make a custom card based off of your favorite dead meme. This is gonna be a very epic gamer moment. That's it for this video. Like it if you did. Don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Shadowverse content in the very near future. And of course, thank you to my wonderful patrons, patreon.com/Ignideus. If you'd like to support the channel as well, I'd highly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.